Okay, I'm in the process of generating 313 blog posts around the topic of ChatGPT prompts. So I've just done a basic scrape for the keyword ChatGPT prompts for asterisk, and it's filled in all of the following. So we've got blog writing, book writing, content writing, email marketing, and so on. So I don't think there are, I was about to say I don't think there are any duplicates, but there clearly are, because blogging is very much the same as blog writing, and books and book writing are very much the same. But for this experiment or this demonstration, it doesn't really matter. But usually you would want to put those in a cluster tool so you aren't getting those duplicates, because again, duplicate sentiment, duplicate content. So I've put them in my sheet. I've downloaded the CSV and uploaded it into the sheet. We are going to add some text here to say how many entries you have, so you know how many you've uploaded. But what I've done is the slug is auto-generated. The title is just the keyword capitalized, so I'd done that before in the spreadsheet using the formula proper. And they're all going into the category AI news. That's my basic category. I don't have uncategorized. I think it's just much simpler this way. And then we've got the secondary keywords, which here's the prompt: generate a comma-separated list of semantically related keywords to the main keyword, and then the variable main keyword. In future, just as we have for the research data column, you'll be able to use data-driven keywords. So it will find related keywords to the main term based on the SERP results. So you'll have the option to either import your own keywords, generate your own semantically related keywords, or to generate some from the SERPs, so to get SERP data. So I won't say generate, then I'll say to pull from the SERPs. I did start generating outlines, but I don't need it for this particular template. I have generated the introduction, and here's the prompt for that. Use this research data to come up with an interesting and captivating but short and sweet blog post introduction for the keyword variable. Explain that these prompts can be utilized on any AI writing tool, and not just ChatGPT, including the bulk publishing AI WordPress plugin. Of course, what is it if I don't market my own tool? And we've got the TLDR. We usually use TLDRs at the beginning of the content. FAQs. The FAQs can be generated from whatever you want, really. You could generate your FAQs from the secondary keywords or the main keyword, or I like to generate them from the research data. So it's looking for opportunities to answer FAQs. So the reader is already looking for this research data, which is based on the main keyword, and then it's going to come up with some FAQs based on the research data. So it goes deeper into the context. And again, for this particular set or cluster, this is an additional variable I've added. So I've told it to write some prompts for the main keyword. So we're using AI to create content, to make better AI content. And I imported the main keyword, caps, and title. Again, we've got the research data, which is based on the main keyword. So I got it to analyze the SERPs and find what the main keyword is. So find the top results for the main keyword. And what research data does is it makes a summary using AI. So it analyzes the top 10 results and it comes up with consensus, I guess. It comes up with a summary. So it's all original, but then you can use that research data to reverse engineer and make a really good targeted outline. And of course, when we start to scrape the related keywords, this is going to be even more optimized for that main keyword before we even go in and do our tweaks. which is, it's what you want when you're doing a bunch of first drafts all in one go. You want as minimal cleanup and the best quality article that you can get for that keyword in one shot. For this, again, that's all we're doing. We've got the prompts, we've got the introduction, and then the main body of the text, which I'm using first draft for, is going to be to conclude the post with a listicle. And it's just going to be tips on how you can improve your prompt writing skills when writing main keywords. So when you're doing prompts for book writing and so on and so forth. So that's it. And if I go to this menu here, it's going to show you the template. And the template, I've said many times, is where the magic happens, because you can add HTML, you can add whatever you like. If you've got images, Gutenberg blocks, I like to use spacers, because if there are any broken HTML elements, they're not going to mess with the next variable. Again, the template is, if you've used WP All Import, then you'll be familiar with how templates work. But if not, you've got your variables, which will replace each of these rows are going to be a new post, which is quite obvious. And the variable is the names of these columns. So wherever the variable is, introduction and prompts, what it's generated for prompts, these are going to show up in the template. Introduction, and we've got the spacer, and then we've got here caps. So caps is, again, the capitalized version of the main keyword. And I've done this so I can say ChatGPT prompts for creating a YouTube video script, examples, and that's in a H2. And then I've done some pretext, which is just introducing, and again, main keyword, so introducing what I'm going to be talking about. Here are some examples, some example ChatGPT prompts for blah, blah, blah. You use these for inspiration and so on and so forth. And then we've got the variable for prompts. So this data here is going to show up here. And of course, within this prompt for prompts, I've told it to name these prompts by H3. So this way we're not going to have blocks, chunks of text. Yeah, so that's going to show up with the HTML all intact. And we've got another spacer. And then again, I've got caps here. So the main keyword capitalized, additional tips. And then now we have the first draft, which I said is the listicle of tips for prompting for that very specific thing. As you can see, this template is only really good for this specific thing. So this template is only good for ChatGPT prompts for X. Not necessarily ChatGPT prompts. I could replace it with Mid-Journey prompts and use the same template. Yeah, I think I'd probably run through and check if there are anything that's tailored towards writing specifically. But by the looks of it, I could now do Mid-Journey prompts for, find all of those keywords and use the exact same template. But then you do have the ability to create new templates. So what you're aiming to do is do your content in these batches. So like I said, this is 314 posts. That's a lot of content. And they won't all necessarily internally link to each other. But if you were doing a batch where things were semantically related or contextually related, but they did have the same template, then you could do the method I've shared many times on Twitter, which is to generate the Ahref links and then swap them out. So put maybe 4 different columns and have them link to each other the next post down. And then you could write a prompt to say, write a contextual paragraph connecting these internal links and so on and so forth. And then you could put that at the bottom of the post. This works a lot better than bullet points. I've done the bullet points many times. It's fine if you just want to throw some internal links in, but it is the lazy method of internally linking. Of course, it's always better to have a contextual paragraph, and you can even go a bit further to ensure that it's all related to the main post by saying, this post is about main keyword, write a contextual paragraph, and include these links. So make it sound natural, just to tell it where it needs to go. And it does a really good job. I posted an example of that from my recipe site. I've just started up a new recipe site. It is a case study, so I will do some videos on that. It's an age domain. It's going really well. And I wanted to test some other things out on that site. And that was one of the things I wanted to test, and it done a really good job with that. So I'm going to be looking more into that. And in future, we will be able to pull our existing data, existing post data, and we will be able to use our old posts and include those in our internal link, our contextual link paragraphs. So back on topic, we're coming near the end of this template. So examples, additional tips. Yep, that's it. That's the template done. So you've got your variables down here as well. So any column that you've added, except for the research data, can be added straight into here. So you don't have to worry about going back and adding new prompts. But that's it. You save your template. And when you go to generate your first draft, it's going to generate your first draft based on that template. So what I've done is I've added generate column one by one. This helps if you have, like I do, 300. If you have many posts that you want to generate, of course, it is quite a lot of a load on your server, pulling from the API and generating blog posts. And if you try and do them all at once, your server will 100% crash. I've advised people to use Heartbeat, which is a free plugin by WP Rocket, and that is good. But I've added this option to do it one by one, which takes a little bit longer, but you don't have the crashing issue, because by the time it's done with the one post and it moves on to the other, you're not overloading it with a bunch of requests within the minute. I'm going to start that now. I'm going to generate the whole column, and it's going to do this one by one. So it's going to generate each first draft one by one. Once it's done, this button will be highlighted and it will move on to the next post. Once it's highlighted, I can click on it and show you what it looks like before I've even touched it, before I've edited it, before I've done anything. I would usually upload my featured image here as well. So by the time it's all done, you add all your featured images, they'll all be added. I've kept it really simple. I've used Canva and I've done the bulk edit tool. So I made this cute graphic, which is clearly the ChatGPT logo. And I've watermarked it and I've just added the text. And then I've copied and pasted my spreadsheet and it's made all my featured images. So it's only done 299 of those, so some are missing, but kept it very simple. As you can see, it's completed that one, this one, that one, and it's moved on to this one. So it does move through them fairly quickly. This is using GPT-4, so if we were using Turbo 3.5, it would be going even quicker. But can't complain. Definitely can't complain. I'm going to add the image here just so I can show you. So the image is uploading. So that's there. You would have to do these one by one, but it's cracking on. So this is going to open in a new tab. And then, okay, so first up, you've got the introduction. And you can change these tokens. You can lower them if you don't want a super long introduction. You can tell the prompt, keep it short and sweet, and you don't have to use the research data to inform the introduction like I do. And again, you can go and you can change the token amount. You can make it 300, 500. Mine is set to like 1,000. So it takes in the research data and then it does this super long introduction. But it's not really made to just be an introduction. It's made to kind of give value up front. And then if for some reason it does this, it's just a spacer. And then the next section, which is what another variable has generated, this is the prompt variable. It's done exactly what I've asked it. So it's got the H2, which is caps, the main keyword capitalized with examples, my introduction text or introducing the prompts, and then it's put the name, it's named the prompt, and it's put it in a H3, and then it's given the prompt. Named it, prompt, named it, prompt, named it, prompt. So it's done the formatting for me. And in the template, I've added my own spaces. And then the next section is what the first draft has generated, and the prompt was to give some additional tips. And again, I'd set that H2. And then this is the first draft variable. This is what it shows up as. It's made a listicle based on the prompt I gave it. This is not complete, so this is what you have to be aware of. But this is a good opportunity to show the new feature I've just added, which is, let me convert this to blocks first, and I can show the feature, which is, if it lets me, yeah. So we don't want a H3, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to just add this paragraph, add this text here. And it says adopt a testing attitude, keep up to date, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to rephrase, expand upon, correct grammar. I'm going to tell it to, rephrase and expand upon this with, I have to tell it what it's about. Let's give it a chance. Let's see what it does if I don't tell it what it's about. Let's let it try and do this on its own. And this is the front end text editor. So if you do find that you want to expand, rephrase, or improve anything, you can just come into the front editor while you're formatting and get it to do something to it. It's not been guided on tone, so I can see something very AI, but this is what it does. So I would remove this text, and I think this is it, because this is trying to copy it. Staying current with the latest adjustments and enhancements to ChatGPT is crucial. Make it a habit to exercise. Okay, by continuing finding articles and understanding we can ensure better usage of the platform. Okay, to achieve this one must retain. Okay, we probably, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to leave some of this. But as you can see, the tips start to get thinner. We've got 4 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines. This one, let's try it again. Ensure your ChatGPT prompts cover a range. I'm going to get it to rephrase and expand. Again, you can change the prompt to whatever you like. You can tell it the tone you want it to rephrase it in. You can get it to completely write a list. You can change it to bullet points. You can do absolutely anything on the front end. But I mainly use it when I see something thin and I want to just go more into the topic. You can also add your facts or your research or whatever it is you want to add. Okay, for maintaining an engaging atmosphere for YouTube, essentials in core subjects, ChatGPT prompts the diversity of topics serves as a catalyst. Okay, sounds like it's talking a load of fluff. Use tags which are... Okay, I'm not sure. This needs reading. And maybe I didn't give it enough context. Because this is supposed to be additional tips around ChatGPT prompts, not just additional tips for YouTube creators. But I think you get the point. I'm just going to remove this and leave it. I'll come back to it. Maybe. Right, delete all of it. Okay. Yeah. So that's the post. But this front-end AI assistant has been a game changer for me because I've been going through on all of my sites and going through some of my old posts that haven't been touched since 2022, the beginning of 2022, and I've been using it to expand upon and rephrase and improve and jazz up some areas of my old content while adding more internal links. And I've had a boost in those posts and the posts that they're linking to. And it's a really good way to improve your numbers and improve your traffic, because the content already exists. It needs jazzing up, and you go back in and you get it to link to some of your newer articles. So apparently, or what it seems is, Google loves that. So I'm going to hit publish. It has had the image attached to it, so it shows up here, and the secondary keywords were also set to be tags, so they show up here. And once it's published, we'll go and have a look at it. Okay, and here it is. So yeah, very basic. Before you go in and edit it, it's a great first draft. Always go through and edit your content, but the more you do in the bulk publishing phase, the better. I'm doing this on all of my sites in a big way, spending big money with OpenAI. Yeah, don't sleep on the bulk publishing method. I guess we're halfway through 2023, but there's still time.